Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen podcast. We've just had CitizenCon Direct. We're going to be talking about that. I'm joined by Zinnia. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
I'm BoredGamer. Hello, BoredGamer. We're going to be talking about stuff. So, how are you doing, Zin, firstly?
I'm all right. Thanks for asking, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. I've recovered mostly after the weekend. This was a much more palatable CitizenCon event for me than previous years. I say previous years, the year before is probably what I'm talking about. Because the year before, I got flu after it. It was like a 2/3 day event, basically. I was drinking throughout those days as well. So I was very rough the week afterwards. And there was so much CitizenCon content to consume last time. And not all of it in a concise format. What did you think of CitizenCon overall for its shorter, concise nature? And, well, you got to watch it from the comfort of your own home.
Yes, I did. You mean CitizenCon Direct?
I mean CitizenCon Direct, yes, Zinnia. She always corrects me.
Yeah, it was all right. I kind of felt like it was just an elongated Inside Star Citizen.
A lot of people would agree with you, I think.
That is kind of what they were doing,
yes,
in a way.
So, yeah, there was very much a focus on the sort of near future and then kind of 12 months out, right?
Yeah.
And them going, look, we're continuing with the monthly patches. We don't want to spoil much. We're working on stuff for the near future and Squadron 42 for next year. Didn't talk much about Squadron 42 at all. It was so funny. So Chris Roberts at the very start of CitizenCon Direct said, basically, server meshing has been working flawlessly for 9 months, or something to that effect. And I do not entirely agree with Chris Roberts on that. It has been working, and they've improved it significantly, and they've proved that the tech can work, and been working towards dynamic server meshing. So I will say that Chris may be a bit overly optimistic about it being working that well. But yes, significantly better at the very least. I went to the Leicester watch party at the National Space Centre, and you should have come, Sin. I should have encouraged you to come down for sure. Yeah, well, I know exactly.
I don't like leaving the house.
Me neither. So I hate travelling, and I was like, I'd have to get there and back, and then I have to pay a load of money to get a hotel and stuff. Well, I did just at the end of the night when everyone went home. Because we went out trying to find karaoke bars with some of the CIG lot. I just got a taxi home at the end of the night, back up to Leeds, which wasn't too crazy. The venue for the UK watch party was the National Space Centre, and it was amazing. It was just, there's rockets and spaceships there. You go in, it's a cool little like museum, and the place where I watched CitizenCon Direct was in the Centre Planetarium. So it was just this atmospheric, you're just surrounded by space and then a giant screen, and it was cool. And then they had a side room with another few hundred people in there. They had 420 people there total, I think.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. And there was a load of CIG devs. And I want to say a few shout outs to some people that I saw at that event. It was genuinely, I was trying to say to some of the organisers, Pete, Mondark Enigma, GFA, and a few of the other people that sort of, the Voyage Direct lads that had sort of organised it and stuff, along with Freya from CIG had helped to load it, I think. They have brought an appetite for events in the UK again. People do not like travelling in the UK. We're not like Americans and the Europeans. They are much more willing and freely able to travel typically. And we're a lot more opposed to it, is the way I describe it. But the event was done so well, and there was so much cool stuff there. And there were a load of vendors like the Toby Eye Tracker people and Verpal and a load of other companies. It was cool. The Icon City guy, he's always an amazing guy to talk to. He turns up at loads of these events. He was sponsoring the event as well. He was amazing. Nick and Elliot from CIG and Freya from CIG, always great to see them. They are great people. And as I said, Pete and GFA, they did great, and the whole team there did great. Captain Osborne as well, one of Zin and I's friends. He's always a good lad to see, and he picked me up from the station.
Oh, nice.
We had lunch and chatted for a while.
Like adults.
Like adults. Absolutely fantastic event. If they do any events in the future, I will be trying to attend. They're always run so well, and I was able to talk to a load of CIG people before and after the watch party. I've got some questions answered. We'll make a video of that at some point. I need to go through my notes because it looks like a child has scrawled made-up language. That's what my notebook looks like at the moment. Well, I was trying to write stuff in the dark through a lot of it, and then when and my handwriting's terrible anyway. But did you have, before we talk about sort of some of the major content of CitizenCon Direct, did you have anything that you really liked from CitizenCon Direct? You said, yeah, it was a bit like a elongated Inside Star Citizen, and I'd kind of agree with you. There was obviously some cool moments, not as wow as other CitizenCons. There wasn't like a Squadron 42 hour-long gameplay demo, or look at this cool thing. We've got spaceship building and space station wars, and like they did last year. But there was some cool stuff. There was anything that really was a highlight to you that was like, yeah, this is great?
Not really, but I did like Nyx. Is it Nyx 1? Looking very nice.
Yeah, so Nyx 1, they've changed heavily from the original concept of that. And basically, with Nyx, they want to premiere their new Genesis Planet Tech V5 and all of the core new Planet Tech. I need to double check in the CitizenCon Direct again if we're getting Nyx 1 with the Genesis updates in 4.4 or not. So they went, Nyx is coming next month in Star Citizen Alpha 4.4. But it is a limited release.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
so it might just be Levski and the Glacium Ring, I think, were the two things that they definitely mentioned.
Yes, it might just be something like that.
Maybe there's just placeholder planets that aren't really anything.
Well, it's possible, or it might be Nyx 1 using some of that tech, but it will get procedurally generated, or what? Well, they're not procedurally generated, but they're partially procedurally generated, right? But yeah, I'm not sure if we're getting Nyx 1 with new Genesis stuff with 4.4. It might be there. Some of the stuff I do need to double check the CitizenCon Direct again, and some of it I think was vague on purpose. But yeah, I love biomes in games, and what was it? Swamps and plains and loads of stuff they basically showed off there.
Wetlands.
Wetlands.
Not swamps.
Not swamps.
Wetlands.
Are they not the same?
No.
Oh.
Because it was fresh water.
Oh, okay. And what, swamps are stagnant?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's how I interpreted it anyway.
Yeah. Citation needed. But, okay. No, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that new Genesis tech, because basically that's going to be the first planet, Nyx 1, that uses it, and then they'll expand it out to all the other planets. I'm not sure how much other planets will be changing. It might be significantly, but anything else other than the Genesis tech that you were sort of super excited about?
I mean, like I said, I wasn't really super excited for anything, but Nyx 1 looks very good, and I'm also excited to see the return of the Siege of Orison.
Oh, okay, yes.
Hopefully in a format that we can actually play fully and enjoy.
Oh, no, we enjoyed it, even though it was broken when we played it,
It wasn't just broken, but also, somebody's already completed the objective before we got there.
Yes, so this is one of the things that was ironic but important for Star Citizen. Instancing, right? So CIG, Chris Roberts, and all these people have been trying to make a seamless game with no instancing, basically, originally. But now they've gone, okay, yeah, we need to use instancing for some stuff. We just need to build it in appropriately for our systems. Because they can have server meshing, and they can have a relatively, if not seamless experience. Well, they can have a seamless experience with instancing. It's just that other people can't affect your instance. So this is part of what I believe is their cooperative zones, wasn't it? And stuff like that. So they want you to be able to go up to a NPC mission giver and it not be bottlenecked by a big queue of people. So you go into their office via an elevator, and you're there, and other people might also be in the same office in a different instance. So you can talk to them, you can advance your story with them, but you can also do events like the Siege of Orison. I really enjoy the Siege of Orison. It's silly and dumb. You basically go to Orison, and the Ninetales have taken over a load of platforms there, and you take the tram in, and you have to disable the anti-air stuff and the defenses, and then work your way onto where the sort of Ninetales leaders are and recapture platforms and stuff. And it's very cool, very fun, but there was random PvP there for a mission that wasn't supposed to have any PvP. And as Zin said, people could just complete an objective. You turn up and people have completed an objective, and you're like trying to run towards where they are, and then they've completed it before you get there, and it's just like But having an instance for that is a fantastic idea, because you take the tram and you won't notice that you're effectively in an instance other than only your team can go in there. And they can have open instances, they can have closed instances with parties, they can have PvP ones, PvE ones, whatever. But having the Siege of Orison potentially encased, appropriately with a team that you do with 5 to 20 people, whatever, I just think it's a great idea. You're really looking forward to that, right?
Yeah. Also, I was thinking about the whole instancing thing and CIG saying they don't want instancing in their game. I think...
Originally.
So I think what they meant more so was like going from planet to space to planet, or even just different landing zones. They want the overall experience to be seamless.
Yes, exactly that. They wanted seamlessness and no loading screens.
Yeah.
And they want real elevators. They want, if they're possible, but some of this stuff has to be gamified, right? Otherwise, it's just fiddly. I was talking to some people and they were like, oh, I really miss the fact that you spawn in your hab and then have to walk all the way to the hangar. I was like, why? Why do you want to inconvenience me? But I do understand people that want the more of the immersion. I want to be able to spawn within a landing zone so if I log off in a landing zone, I want to sort of choose where I spawn in that landing zone. Just because I can go, well, my character knows I'm going to be there by the time I log in. Yeah? So it can be, I should be able to spawn in my hangar or my hab or a shop, I don't know, something like that. Or the toilet there. And then toilet locking, I think it's a great idea for capital ships. Yeah. You just have all the toilet doors locked, right? And then you spawn there. It's like a spawn locker for you. Just get out of the toilet. Bam. Done. So yeah, because they talked about some great instancing stuff, like the municipal work stuff, the depths that they talked about last year. It's going to be moving to Levski. Mm-hmm. Really excited for that, because that's just going to be you doing instant stuff with as many people as you want, going and diving for loot and doing missions. Some cool PvE stuff there, some cool dungeons. And then the really cool hero mission stuff that they were talking about was the combined arms fleet battle in Nyx. Like finding space stations, assaulting them, breaking through their defenses with other capital ships, NPC capital ships, sort of helping you. They've got the carrier gameplay as well, where you can rearm, repair, refuel there. You'll break through defenses and shields, take these stations, face new, interesting factions, mysterious factions that we'll discover, and then have to release prisoners and then defend the stations from Vandal that will be attacking. And the Vandal have got their new ships, like the Stinger, and they even showed like a little sneaky, I think it's the Vandal destroy the Mauler. But yeah, what do you think of those sort of combined arms kind of epic missions?
I suppose they'll be cool. They're probably going to be more suited for larger groups, clans, things like that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these scale, right? Because, for example, they did say with that one, if you don't have any of your own capital ships for joining that one, you can just use the People's... What's the name of the faction in Levski?
Not the People's Alliance.
People's Alliance? Is it People's Alliance? Remember. Yeah. I think it's People's Alliance. You can use their Idris or their capital ships. So we'll have to see how that scales. It'll be interesting for sure. I mean, some of these might be more open events again, but just instanced based on sort of size. Super looking forward to that. I love things like that, because it's very similar to the Siege of Orison, but like in space, as the way I see it. And we'll see more and more things, I suspect, get instantized. That's almost certainly what they wanted to do, in my opinion, with the SD facilities, right?
Yeah.
Instance them.
And that's probably why they put so many around.
Yeah. Lots of stuff coming in the next, month. So 4.4, loads and loads of stuff there. So got Nyx. There's actually a load of stuff coming this week, I suppose, as well, because 4.3.2 didn't come out at CitizenCon. I thought it was probably going to, but it's coming out this week instead. The CIG have said there's new ships and new FPS weapons with that as well that they announced. Talking about the new ships, Sin. Any take your fancy out of the Anvil Paladin, the Asperia Vandal Stinger, or the Grey's Market Shiv? No. What about the Shiv, Sin? $150 at the moment?
I don't like the idea of a chop shop ship.
Well, come on, Sin, but it's mostly a cutlass.
Nah, but I've got a cutlass.
You do, but you could have 50% more cutlass.
No, I'd rather have a cutty black or a steel or something, you know?
Okay, yeah. It was an interesting compound ship. So Grey's Market, new manufacturer. I suppose they're not actually a manufacturer, they just recombine parts, it looks like. I believe this is basically going to have a load of the ships, or some of the ships that we saw in the 2019 Squadron 42 teaser. And this Grey Market Shiv is a cutlass with Freelancer and Valkyrie parts. I think it's got the turret of a Hurricane. So it's all combined together. It's got a toilet, which is a bucket. It's an interesting ship, and I think we're going to see a load more compound ships in the future. It's an interesting way of getting them in the game. Also, the Asperia Stinger, they just went, look at this giant heavy fighter, a Asperia reproduction of it. $315, quite expansive. It's got a bespoke size 5, I think like plasma cannon, but the rest of the weapons can be changed out for any appropriate mount weapons. I think that would be actually quite popular. And then you've got the Anvil Paladin, which I was super looking forward to because it's a proper gunship. $350 though, pretty expensive. They're coming in 4.3.2. They're available in the PTU now. Something that wasn't shown off. There was no, that Corsair silhouette, the Corsair looking ship from last year in the ship sneak peek.
Yes.
That could be a compound ship. That could,
yeah.
Right? That could be another sort of Grey's Market Shiv kind of situation maybe. Because they're in the Shiv page, there is basically potentially a variant of it kind of teased. Maybe it's... I think we'll see something like that. Also, new FPS weapons in.
Yeah.
What do you think about a Space AK?
Meh.
Well, I thought it was silly because it fires a ballistic round and then alternately an energy round. But why do this? Someone in the comments will probably go, well, actually, it's really energy efficient to do a ballistic and then energy. I don't think it is. I think it's silly. Have 2 Space AKs, an energy one and a ballistic one. I think a lot of people will be happy with the Space AK. You've also got a slow-firing LMG, which is probably I will be using.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks like something you'd use.
Yes. I like high-damage, slow-firing weapons that allow me to think and re-aim with each shot without having to worry about 7 of my shots missing because I can't do the recoil properly. Yeah, slower, more tactical weapons. And there was also a very silly cluster rocket. It's just a rocket launcher, but the ammo for it is like 3 rockets strapped together.
I mean, it could be good for like sieging places.
Well, yeah, they showed it blowing up ships and stuff. Some cool stuff. I just like the fact that this is going to be in 4.3.2 and binoculars as well.
Yeah.
Well, so I think binoculars are useful because they're not going to have, I don't think they're going to have glint. So you can use it to spy on people without having a little flashy flash in the sun or the dark.
I just found it amusing, the story about the binoculars, which was like, well, yeah, I just sort of made this thing and yeah, now we've got binoculars.
Yeah, I made a scope that I could put to my eyes. Binoculars are cool. Give us a load more accessories and gadgets and stuff like that. I'm happy to see more in the verse. And yeah, that's coming to live later this week. It's, I believe, available on the PTU now. I need to mess around with those FPS weapons because I have yet to do so. But we'll be producing some more videos on the ships that we haven't already. So yeah, I'll be looking at the Asperia Stinger and the Grey's Market Shiv. It's hard to wow Zin. It's hard to wow her. But that's not a bad thing. Like I'm in awe of everything in Star Citizen.
I am just whelmed.
You're just whelmed. You're not underwhelmed or overwhelmed.
Yeah, just whelmed.
Just whelmed. That's good. No, I like being able to rub a duck and talk to you about things that I'm excited about, though. So what else do we have coming in 4.4? All the Vandal stuff. It's exciting to have the Nyx system. They're going to have jump points in Stanton to Nyx and Pyro to Nyx. So they're just basically connecting all of them temporarily together with the jump points.
Just to make it easy, so you can fly around and not be going, where the hell do I need to go?
We didn't find out as well, but basically CIG said, it's not entirely lawless, the system. I want to know what that actually means. Is there COMRA coverage that I get criminal ratings still? Is there a security presence?
So I would say maybe not COMRA, but possibly security presence.
And then is that just going to be around Levski and Delamar? Well,
I think any friendly or not nasty areas, they'll probably have security.
That's a good point. Are we going to get space stations there? I suppose we will, won't we? I didn't even think about space stations, but of course we'll have space stations there for rearm, repair and refuel. Okay, a lot of this stuff we'll have to just wait and see, I suppose. They showed off some cool new activities that were coming in the future as well, like Rock Breaker, find some space stations, power them up, break open giant asteroids. And obviously we've talked about instancing. There's going to be more in the way of inter-system missions and hauling missions between systems. Expect some economy updates as well to support Nyx in 4.4. I think the other big thing that was in this year's CitizenCon Direct was crafting.
Yeah. Or the initial crafting.
They basically said initial crafting in the tech preview by the end of the year. That could potentially get phased into live, but at least in the tech preview by the end of the year. And as Zin said, it's initial and it's going to be FPS and armor, FPS gear and armor that you're going to be able to build from little fabrication pods that you can buy and then place kind of wherever. Put them on your ship, put them in your cargo grids, whatever. Put them in your hangar. And then you've got some blueprints. You can find more blueprints in game. You can get them through missions and stuff. And then you'll be able to craft some FPS gear and armor. It's not going to be the researching stuff. It's not going to be the upgrading stuff. And it's not going to be the more expansive crafting. And it's not going to be a huge amount of recipes, but it's going to be some. And they'll expand it out over time. And I'm assuming that they'll support it with an economy of materials. Or do you think they'll just have RMC and construction materials being the basis for crafting because it's a test? Or do you think they will go, no, actually, we're expanding that out to titanium?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends how ready they are for that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could go for like base materials that you can currently mine, plus RMC maybe.
Yeah.
Because everything's going to be something at some point, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. You're right. It might combine the salvage stuff and the mining stuff and refining stuff.
And also items from boss fights.
Items from boss fights. Yeah. And mission items and stuff like that you'll all combine together. Interesting. No, I think you're probably right. Oh, so one of the other things we found out was that, and I think that we kind of knew this already, the align and mine activity?
Yes.
So originally that was supposed to bring up the Apex Valaka when you shot the laser down.
I think you said about that as well.
Yeah, I assumed that was the case. And I said, I think my original assumption was that it was either going to appear there or it was going to lead on to it in like the next mission. And they did it with Stormbreaker with a irradiated Valakar instead, the Apex irradiated Valakar. But I do believe they are going to be getting the Apex Valakar, the non-injured one, the non-ill one in game at some point. But I just like the fact they went, nah, it's not good enough yet. We have to cut it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I like that, but that's what they did.
Yeah, see, I would have been nice to just maybe have it in the PTU temporarily, just as we'll see how it goes.
Yes, because then people were like, oh yeah, it's coming! Hey, worm! So that would be interesting as well, because people will want Stormbreaker and stuff like that instanced, I think. A lot of complaints that I've heard recently have been about those events breaking or people jumping them during them, stuff like that, which has not been particularly enjoyable for the groups doing them.
I suppose that's kind of why they had that room locked down for the ASD facility fight.
Yeah, so that's interesting. For the Yomandi fight, you press a button to effectively spawn the Yomandi, but it locks the other doors down, so you're trapped in the room for a little while. But yeah, that prevents people so readily being able to run in. But yeah, that would work really well as an instanced area. These other things work really well as instanced areas. Also, when you instance them like that, you can have them on their own servers, and it really supports server meshing really well. Because you go, it's not going to cause the main server or the other nearby servers to degrade so much or to have so much burden on them. So I do think this is all great for their server meshing tech and their dynamic server meshing tech. However, I wish they had earlier on went, you know what, instancing would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Because we'd have so much more stuff working and in-game now. Yeah, at least in my opinion. And you might totally disagree, and you're more than welcome to disagree with me or Zin. Did you feel like anything was missing at CitizenCon this year? Because you basically described it as a kind of elongated Inside Star Citizen, which it was a glorified version of that. Yeah, I think
it would have been. I mean, I know they said pretty much from the get-go, we're just going to be focusing on the next 12 months, and that's what you're going to see here. But I wanted to see more about how is Maelstrom coming on and stuff like that, you know?
So that it's Maelstrom and engineering that a lot of people I've seen talk about. Disco basically said, look, we've covered engineering loads. We're going to try and get it into the tech preview and potentially even in game by the end of the year if we can. I don't think he's actually said that at CitizenCon. I think he said that afterwards in a comment. And obviously previously they've said that, at least to the tech preview by the end of the year again. I think I'm with you on that. I would have liked to have seen some more of the features that we're hyped about, like the quantum boosting and quantum updates. Like when's that stuff coming?
Yeah.
Flight model updates. We know they've been testing them. So lots of core and important features that they sort of did miss out. Ship sneak peeks. I quite like getting a load of ship silhouettes because it gives me about a month's worth of content. just being able to go, look at this. I think this could be this ship.
Thing is, it might be because the ships are more going straight to flyable rather than being teased and then here's the concept and you can buy it.
Yeah.
But it won't be in game until like a year down the line.
Well, it'll be interesting to see because the last concept ship the last concept sail will probably be a battle cruiser that they're going to be concepting next year or go to concept sale next year. But obviously they'll still have a concept process. They just won't sell ships at that early phase. They'll sell it when they are flyable. And maybe they don't know when a lot of these ships and vehicles are going to be flyable because they'll fit them in and get them into, because it's a monthly patch cadence. It might have changed the way they develop these ships. But I do feel like that because they were focusing on that the next 12 months, and most of CitizenCon was actually looking at the next 4.4 release in November.
Yeah.
That we missed that longer term outlook, which is basically what you were saying. Yeah, I do think that was a bit of a shame. And org and party features, which I think have been criminally neglected since the game went to 3.0. So many years ago, it should have been a priority to get more party, more org, and more general features, being able to mute people, being able to share stuff with org mates, being able to organize better with parties and org mates. Just a huge amount of these features, super necessary, even if you put them in a temporary state. Obviously, they're trying to come up with their final state now. That's what I thought was missing. I really enjoyed CitizenCon Direct, though. Nice, short, concise. Looked at stuff that's going to be in our hands real soon, so you're not going to be like, we're going to be waiting for that forever, which was nice. But so you're sort of looking forward to Siege of Orison, some of that instant stuff. That was kind of it for CitizenCon. We've got a summary video of that. I will be looking at each of the individual elements of it, because like the Genesis tech that Zin was talking about with Nix 1, it's very pretty. And they can do like proper rock scattering and cliffs now. And that tech has been getting better and better and better. The planet generation for Star Citizen and the general play area is just amazing. That's some of the wow factor. I mean, the other wow factor is the beautiful spaceships. Do you believe that Star Citizen will be in a significantly more playable state by the end of next year?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah?
I mean, I would agree with, I think it was Jared's sentiment, what Jared was saying, that it is already in a much better playable state than it was before. Metrics echo that statement.
Chris, Rich, and Jared all echoing that sentiment a few times, I think, saying, look, it's the busiest, the most popular and longer play sessions that we've had ever. The metrics prove that more people are playing and more people are getting into it. And I agree. Like, some people are really wanting those new features. They want Maelstrom, they want engineering, they want feature. And I do as well. But I do also want more stuff to play in the game. And I like the monthly patch cadence. And they're going to be continuing that for the next 12 months. And you can disagree with that. And you can tell us in the comments below if you disagree with that. Yeah. Anything else, Sin? Anything else that you're excited for? Anything else you're like, woo! Yeah! Star Citizen!
No, that's about it, really.
We need to do the Yamandi fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to do that at some point. Looking forward to instances, looking forward to those dungeons. I'm much more into PvE content than I am PvP content, but I am happy to play both. So looking forward to that stuff. And 4.4 is going to be cool. Hopefully it won't all explode. And I'll try and work out what's actually in that limited release at some point. Sin!
Yeah.
Where can people get NordVPN from?
Well, in the links below.
Yeah? Can they click
or by going...
Yeah, they click those links.
Yeah, click the links.
Click the links,
or go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer.
Oh, yeah. What do they get if they go there?
They get better accessibility, better security, and better privacy on the internet.
Yeah, they probably will if they use NordVPN, right? And they get a big discount as well. Which is great. And it also effectively give me money. So that's probably the best thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Click the links below. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you had a great CitizenCon. Tell us what your favourite bits were. Tell us what you're looking forward to. And tell us what you thought was missing. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Bye. It's October. It's CitizenCon. There is loads going on in Star Citizen, and I spy with my Tobii eye tracker something beginning with D. It's a discount. You want a natively supported high precision head and eye tracker for Star Citizen? Of course you do. It actually works with a load of games, actually. The Tobii eye tracker is super useful as part of your arsenal, but also really adds to your immersion. If you don't mind spending a little bit of time tweaking after setup, you can have a really awesome time. Look around your cockpit, look over your shoulder, and track ships in a dogfight intuitively and ergonomically like never before. It's got a load of features to improve the experience as well, with like camera boost, which is a little tiny bit like mouse acceleration for your head and eyes, but actually useful. You can get 15% off a Tobii Eye Tracker 5 until Monday the 20th of October. Links below to that. There's also a sweepstake going on from Tobii. You can join to win a Tobii Eye Tracker 5. Links down below to that too. Thanks to Tobii for sponsoring this video. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for October, because of CitizenCon and it's a big month of celebration, we are giving away 5 different ships to 5 different winners. They all come with a game package and lifetime insurance. We're giving away a C8X Pisces, the Arrow Light Fighter, the 100i luxury starting ship, the Sulen, a very cool, weird alien starting ship, and the Nomad from Consolidated Outland. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning one of those ships is comment on any of my videos made during October. Any of those are great to start the game with, or just as another ship in your fleet, or even as a lifetime insurance token to upgrade to something else. A big thank you as well to CIG for providing some of those ships for that giveaway. If you would like to further support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon or using the join button under my videos. That will get you some occasional exclusive content, and it really does help us out loads. Also, like, share, subscribe, that all helps tons as well. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I hope you have a great October.